was just a fantasy, but it was a pretty good one, wasn't it? Dreaming of the life we could have had as a family. Jason, I should have never gone to see Heather Weber.
Why, hello there. Oh, my God, it's you. Yes, it is. May I come in?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure, anything.
It's about the night that my baby died.
Sam, I was wrong. I should have never sent those guys after McBain and
Jason, no, that's not what I'm asking. I've been so angry at you, and as long as I made it your fault, I didn't have to stop to think about what really happened. I mean, I barely remember sitting in that motel room that night. I mean, I think the rain had stopped. I'm not sure. I can't really remember, but I do remember wrapping my son up in a scarf, which seems so stupid to me right now, because why wouldn't I use a blanket or a towel, something that would really keep him warm? And then I decide to leave. Why? I mean, where was I going exactly?
You said the baby wasn't breathing right and you wanted to get help.
I was in the middle of the road and it was closed. So why didn't I take him back into the motel?
Sam, you weren't thinking clearly.
Why didn't I bring him back into the room where he was warm? Why did I take him off into the middle of the woods?
Because you were trying to find help.
I walked into the middle of the woods following a light. And I wound up at a shack in the middle of nowhere. And then I left him.
Oh, of course. Please, please, come in, come in. Victor. Lindo. This is the woman who saved your life. I've thought about you every single day since that night. It was a miracle that Todd found you when Victor was so sick. How you happened to be in a shed in the middle of the woods during a rainstorm. If you hadn't given him CPR, he would never have survived. He's just beautiful. You are the reason he's still here.
Sam, you didn't leave your son. You were in shock. You should have been in the hospital. It's my fault that you weren't.
No, by the time I found that shack, Jason, I was so sick and I was dizzy and I was afraid I was going to drop him, so I put him down. But why? Why did I put him down? Why didn't I take him with me? Why did I leave him outside in the cold?
Sam.
Jason, I left him outside in a storm. I'm his mother. He needed me, and I left him. I left him outside. My baby died because of me. It was my fault. He died, and it was my fault, Jason. I should have brought him with me.
You thought you were going to drop him. Sam, he didn't die because you put him down. He died from respiratory failure.
All alone.
You did the best that you could. You were so weak when I showed him to you, you didn't even recognize him. You said it wasn't your baby.
Because I didn't want to believe it, Jason. I didn't want to believe that it was him. So I came up with this sick fantasy, but it's impossible. What, that somebody switched him and put a newborn in his place?
You know, when a child dies, the pain is too much. You know, you look for a way to make it not true.
I know it was my son that died that night. I've got this feeling that if I would have held on to him and just never put him down, he would be with me right now.
I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. Susan. Susan Moore. Huh, Susan, that doesn't ring a bell. But then again, I was so out of it.
Yes, you were.
Oh, gosh, where are my manners? Please, please, sit down. So how did you find me?
Well, Todd Manning gave me your address.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were still in touch.
Yeah, we bonded over the baby, Todd and I.
Oh, I heard something about a health scare in Port Charles. I only read
Oh,
half the
that's
story.
just media hype. I feel fit as a fiddle.
Oh, well, you look wonderful. So, what are you doing in Lambview?
It's about the baby. I'm sorry, Tia. He isn't yours.
Yours are still full, so it's gonna be a few hours before we can get that bullet out.
I can wait.
You want something for the pain?
No, I'm fine.
Patrick can prescribe you something.
Look at me, son.
I want you to know Ewan died.
At least you're safe.
I'm still trying to figure out how a person that I considered a friend worked with Jerry to poison the whole town.
He swears he didn't know what Jerry was planning.
It doesn't change the result. Jerry still got the pathogen in the water.
He said it's going to be 48 hours, which unfortunately I think is correct, which means the fever is progressing for everyone.
Patrick, is it possible to pull the medical records for Sam's baby?
Actually, they're in Sam's chart here.
Can you tell us why he died?
Says he died of respiratory failure. His lungs weren't developed.
So if Sam and the baby made it to the hospital, you could have put him on a ventilator and he'd still be alive, right?
Did nobody
I'm just trying to be clear because he died. He wasn't in the hospital. He couldn't get proper care.
I doubt that the ventilator would have done any good.
Are you sure? Because I mean, when I asked Kelly, she said that that's what she would have done. She would have put him on a ventilator.
Yes, your baby would have been put on a ventilator, but the baby's lungs weren't developed. It wasn't breathing properly, so I'm sorry, but there was no way to save your baby.
What do you mean Victor's not mine? What are you talking about?
The old Chinese proverb. If you save someone's life, you're responsible for that person for the rest of their life. And to that gorgeous baby, you could say, I'm watching over him.
Oh, thank you, Susan. You are so kind. As you know, Victor doesn't have a lot of family. His father passed away. It's just really me, my brother when he's around, and my daughter when she's not out.
And me. I keep asking Todd how Victor's doing, but you know how Todd is. It's always go, go, go. I can't pin him down. So I decided to come and visit Victor myself.
Well, I wish he had told me. I would have sent you a picture.
Oh, you can't blame Todd. That's just his nature. Always trying to change the world to suit himself.
You do know him. Well, Victor and I are very glad you're here.
May I hold him?
So my son never had a chance to live?
There's a high probability that he would have died of respiratory failure no matter what.
Okay, but was it anything that I did while I was pregnant to affect the development
Sam,
of
there's
his lungs?
nothing that you could have done differently. In fact, it says here that you were very diligent. You told Kelly Lee to look into a genetical disorder with the Cassadine family beta thalassemia.
Yeah.
Was that a factor?
No, not in the MA. It doesn't say that. But your son had a worse condition, hemophilia.
No, I do remember Kelly briefly mentioning that, but she thought it was weird because it didn't show up in any of my blood work while I was pregnant.
That's not why he died.
Your son died of respiratory failure, okay? His lungs weren't developed. Now, I'm sure if you would have got to the hospital sooner, we would have done anything we possibly could to keep him alive. But in my medical opinion, there's nothing that we could have done. Now, we need to get you to radiology.
Can I see the file?
Yes.
The baby's death wasn't Sam's fault. And it wasn't yours either.
Victor can be a handful. I'm not sure.
Well, we can just sit right here with you by my side. He won't mind a bit.
Okay.
Okay, puppy. Okay. Oh, such a good boy. Oh, it's so wonderful seeing him like this. So healthy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I understand.
I just remember holding him that night. I'll never forget it. And willing him to live. So, no complications? The pediatrician gave him an all clear?
No, Victor's doing great, but, he may possibly have a blood disorder. That great doctor at General Hospital diagnosed it, Dr. Weber? Dr. Weber?
Dr. Stephen Lars Weber?
Yes.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Yes. He told me that Victor may be a carrier for beta thalassemia, which, unfortunately, his pediatrician here in Landview confirmed that diagnosis.
Is it serious?
It can be serious if it isn't treated in time, but we are watching him, and it is ultimately treatable, so.
Well, that's good. We wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
You know, it's strange. I'd never heard of this disease before, but apparently it's genetic. So Victor had to have inherited it from either me or from his father. There's no history of it in my family. And according to my late husband's sister, there's no history of it in his family either. So where did it come from?
It's still my fault McBain couldn't get Sam and the baby to the hospital.
You heard what Patrick said. It wouldn't have mattered.
Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't make sense?
It says right here, Sam's baby's AB negative and Sam's O positive.
Well, if the baby was Franco's, then that...
No. It says Franco is O positive. So how could Sam and Franco have a child who's AB negative? I mean, that's not possible, right?
So how long will you be staying in Landview?
I'm not sure. But I am ready for a change. I've been isolated too long.
Did you live near that, what was it, garden shed?
I adore gardening. Maybe a little too much. When I go puttering around the shed, I lose all track of time.
Well, Victor and I, we sure are grateful that you were there that night.
Yes. Me too. This baby changes everything for me. Do you need to get that?
It's work, I should.
Go on. We'll be fine. Won't we, Victor?
Delgado, what did he say?
My little sweetheart. Nobody knows, just you and I, who you really are. And we both know Taya's not your real mother.
Okay, am I reading this right? Sam and Franco, both O positive.
Yeah,
But the baby is AB negative.
that's what this says. Oh, there's gotta be a mistake.
What if there's no mistake?
What do you mean?
What if the baby who died wasn't Sam's?